You're with the Breaker-Leggers, and we're in London's West End at the Trafalgar Studios.
To see the play Killer Joe.
So stay tuned to find out how many legs...
Whether it's break a leg or leg it.
Before you awesome theatre people go any further...
To make sure you've always got your finger on the theatrical pulse.
For theatre reviews, news and interviews...
Just pop down, hit subscribe now, it's free, and you will be the first to see all of our latest videos.
So we're here to see Killer Joe. What do we know about this piece?
Well, it's played by Tracy Letts in a new production directed by Simon Evans. It's a thriller.
Okay, good. Something meaty.
Yeah, which was last seen in the West End in 1995, but since has been adapted into a movie in 2012 starring Matthew McConaughey.
I don't know it, do you?
No, never seen it.
Okay.
Killer Joe follows the Smith family who plot to murder a wealthy matriarch and claim her insurance money.
Okay.
Yep. Alert!
Alert.
A-lister alert. In the cast
yes.
for this, in the title role of Joe Cooper, is Hollywood star Orlando Bloom. He's just up there.
Yeah, big pull for this. He's done loads of stuff, Orlando.
Yeah, mainly screen, although he has a few stage credits. Maybe best known for Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Hobbit.
Pirates of the Caribbean
yes.
films as well.
What else have you seen him in? Black Hawk Down, he's in that. That's quite
number
early
of
in his
things,
career. Yeah, quite a bit of...
He's quite... on and off with Katy Perry as well.
Yes, on it at the moment as we film, but who knows what might happen in the future.
So Orlando Bloom in this, so that's quite a big pull. Who else is in this?
From the Kingsman films, we have Sophie Cookson.
Okay.
You've seen those, I haven't.
I love those films.
Yeah.
So...
And also, it's shaping up to be a pretty stellar cast. We've Steffan Rhodri, who we last saw in This House.
Yep.
Check out our review. But he's perhaps best known for playing Dave Coaches in the TV show, which I love, Gavin and Stacey. Playing the role of Chris in this is Adam Gillen, who we saw as Mozart in Amadeus.
At the National Theatre, yes, just up there.
And he can be probably best seen and most familiar to you as his character in Benidorm.
Yep, this piece is 2 hours and 10 minutes with an interval.
Yes, that's when we'll catch you again to give you our 30-second interval breakdown, but stay tuned to find out how many legs later. We've come to the interval, which means it's time for the Breaker-Leggers 30-second interval breakdown. Go! What do you think so far?
I'm liking it so far. It's gone very fast, the first act. It was an hour, it felt like half an hour. So I guess that's good. Really nice, strong characters, a simple developing plot. I'm enjoying so far.
Yeah, I think the strength is in the writing with this one. There's a real undercurrent of cynicism in the writing, but also the director has kind of brought out these really strong characters in a believable way, even though they are sort of caricaturesque. I'm enjoying it. I want to see what happens next. We've come to the end of Killer Joe here at the Trafalgar Studios. What did you make of that?
Well, it was a bit dark, wasn't it? I did enjoy it. It was quite cinematic as well. I could understand why it's been turned into a film.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the original production bared resemblance to this, because this isn't the original production.
This version is felt very cinematic, and in its writing, the way it how the scenes were cut and how it ended, I felt it was quite cinematic. Descending into this dark world of these where the morality of these characters is very warped.
Questionable at best, isn't it?
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it.
Is enjoyed the right word? I mean, it's a piece about, there's themes of paedophilia, there's themes of almost incestualism, there's themes
murder,
of
corruption, betrayal,
exactly.
trust.
And I don't know whether when you use the
domination,
descriptive
control.
word enjoyable, I would go more to say it was an experience, and it's certainly eye-opening.
Well, I personally like horror. I like gritty stuff. So in that context, I did enjoy it. It satisfied that base kind of gritty needing.
Like your sort of Neanderthalish nature.
Kind of peering into the window of a world that I wouldn't want to go into, but it's nice to observe. I thought it was good.
Do you think it was a bit torture porn for you? Do you think because
bit like
you're,
Hostel?
Yeah, you're sort of getting
movie
off
Hostel.
on the sort of audacity and the sort of threat of the situation
Isn't that
because
what
you're not
horror and thriller is
think
about,
that
isn't it? It's
it
kind of
reaches
watching
to
a
some-
world.
It's almost
Just why
quite
you watch-
primal.
Yeah, and just why you watch Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah.
It's kind of to look into a world that you don't
We
want to
don't
be a
watch
part
Jeremy
of.
Kyle.
But it's that kind of thing, isn't it? But,
Yeah.
But so enjoyable in that sense. It is uncomfortable.
Yeah, and
it's not one you'd really want to watch with your mum and dad.
That's a
I don't know,
great. I
it's-
mean, that's a great word to say. I wouldn't bring the kids to this, but this.
it has a 16 plus.
Uncomfortable. It's only a guidance. The great thing about theatre is they can't restrict. It's not like an 18 film where you can't go and watch it unless you're that age. They can say not really for over 16s, but you know what? There could be younger people in here, but I wouldn't feel comfortable personally. Yes,
What did you think?
uncomfortable. I thought it was good. I thought it was directed really well. It's not the strongest writing that I've experienced. It's almost not even the strongest writing in this sort of genre about dysfunction and about corruption. I have seen better, but I think this production, the director has got a real grip on that and actually makes it move very well and keeps it very engaging for the audience. And I was drawn in. Something really extraordinary happened at the interval, just before actually. When we went to blackout for the interval, no applause. People were so sort of drawn in and living and inhabiting and breathing that world in that there was almost a stunned silenceness to it, which you didn't even notice.
I didn't even realise we
and
didn't
I
clap.
was like, gosh, that was weird. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I shared the uncomfortableness of the situation that led us into the interval in the audience, which was a real experience.
Yes, I didn't even notice, but I guess we were just so sucked into what
Yeah.
was going on.
And I
Yeah.
don't know if we can use the word suck in this piece either, like talking about this piece. And if you've seen it, you'll know exactly what we mean.
I mean, it's very sexual.
It is very sexual.
It definitely pushes the boundaries on a number of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cast.
Yeah,
You've got a
cast.
program. Let's talk through.
Let's
I
talk
loved
through.
everybody, but let's
Yeah,
talk about individual performances.
Adam Gillen as Chris Smith in particular, intense.
He was brilliant.
He was brilliant.
Absolutely
I was
brilliant.
worried at some points that he was verging into overdone. But actually, no, because he maintained his sort of this real. He had a believability about that intensity, and I
real
enjoyed
extreme
that.
character.
Yeah, very extreme.
His physicality, his accent, his nuances were absolutely brilliant. He
Yeah,
stole it from me.
he's great, isn't he?
Actually, we saw him before in Amadeus at the National Theatre, and again he played quite a wacky
Character.
in that.
Yeah, he's very good at that.
But very good.
Sophie Cookson as Dottie Smith, the young girl.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought she was
Really,
great.
real naivety and innocence that's sort
Yeah.
of stripped out of her in this piece, which was great to see,
She's
really great
fantastic.
to see.
Yeah.
Steffan Rhodri as Ansel.
He was good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Just like more interested in TV than anything else.
Yeah, sort of wrapped up in his own importance and his own world rather than what's going on around him. Do you know, I think the TV obsession maybe has something to do with the fact that he is as escapism. You know, his life hasn't worked out in the way that it was hoping to be, and he also doesn't want to be in the environment that he is in, and he looks to the TV as a form of an escape and almost goes to it. It's almost habitual. It's almost his drug, and he's, you know, when you're as that form of escapism and why people turn to drugs, that TV was that for him, and I thought that was very interesting.
It was
Well
almost part
played.
of that culture, isn't it? Kind of what it is like for people who live in trailer in trailers. That is their only escapism.
And Neve McIntosh in the role of Charlotte Smith.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she was very good. Not much to say about her in terms of sort of just a solid performance.
Yep.
She gets full frontal nudity in moments in it, so you go, girl. And I suppose last but by no means least, I think we should talk about
Orlando Bloom. So what did you
shouldn't we?
make of Orlando?
I liked him. I thought he had a real menace about him. I think it's one of the stronger things I've seen him do, and it's also another string to his bow. Now, in the film, that role was played by Matthew McConaughey, and Matthew McConaughey sort of just plays that role. You know, I've seen Matthew McConaughey do. I've never seen Killer Joe, but you know what? I could see Matthew McConaughey playing that character, but I couldn't see Orlando Bloom doing it. But like I say, I think even as Legolas, he's added another string to his bow.
Oh, I see what you
See
did
what
there.
I did there?
I thought it was very good, actually. Again, just because he's in something very different. He's always kind of usually the love interest or just shooting at orcs. Nothing too major.
Nothing too challenging.
Nothing too deep.
No.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, and
it's
it is
okay.
a challenging part.
Whereas this is quite deep, it's quite layered, and seeing him as more as a menacing, very butch, manly figure.
Yeah, misogynistic.
Yeah, I thought I was impressed by the range of what he was capable of as an actor, technically, to encompass that role.
And being on stage is a beast unto itself, and the fact that he's taken on something like this is all credit to him. He's clearly wanted to push the sort of the typecast that he's sort of fallen into a little bit, and say, no, I can do something different. And do you know what? He pulls it off.
He did very well.
I totally agree.
Well
I would
done.
also say I really enjoyed the set. Thought the set was beautiful.
The set was great.
Great, smart set designer. Lighting.
I love the lighting design.
Do you know what? We've had a good lighting.
I
a few
think
shows recently we've enjoyed the lighting. But this
lighting
one
and
particular.
directorial decisions. I think in combination they've made some really good choices,
Bold.
specifically within the scene changes, incorporating the telly and changing channels, and the changing of lights and the colour scheme for that worked really well.
Do you know what?
Really nice thunderscapes as well, and lightningscapes, which worked really well with the sound design as well.
I would have worried about the on paper those lighting changes. I think could have looked a bit like, oh, it's a bit too much, but they worked so beautifully in this piece. It surprised me. I wouldn't have taken those risks, but I'm glad they did personally.
Bold directorial decisions with the lighting, and also in the last final, there's kind of a final fight scene, and there's some strong directorial choices made in that fight scene as well.
Talk about that a little bit. Edward Lewis was the composer and sound designer for the piece, and his work throughout was good, but I don't think I'll be able to listen to the Turtles Happy Together in the same way ever again.
Because of that final scene?
Because of that final scene.
It's a lovely touch.
It's almost ruined that song for me a little bit, because I'll always be thinking about the not so happy final scene that happens in this without giving too much away.
But it's nice having the harsh and the light. I mean, that's a really beautiful directorial decision. Or whoever made that decision, I'm assuming it's director.
And I think that actually the music throughout this was really well chosen, and that is something that I think music brings a whole other level, and picking the right songs, especially popular songs, and putting them in pieces like this can add an extra dimension, and it certainly did here.
Yeah, there's some nice areas, elements of underscoring, just a kind of real tense undertone during certain key moments to keep you kind of riding on what's going to happen next. There's such tension in the air, and the soundscape helped to maintain that. So it's nice.
Good all round.
So I guess you're probably wondering how many legs we're going to give this piece.
For Killer Joe, currently playing at the Trafalgar Studios, we are going to give
4 legs for this piece.
Yeah, I've seen these themes explored before, and I've seen them done slightly better than this. I think directorially he's done the best he could possibly do. The text, I mean, maybe if I'd have seen this originally in 1995, it'd have trodden some new ground, and I think it would have been really challenging. But in the intervening years, maybe people have been inspired by this piece and sort of interpreted it themselves. I've seen, like I say, I've seen this done, and it's nothing really, really new. It's just very well done for what it is.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good meaty piece. The audience were on their feet.
Yes, audience
it's a
loved
very
it.
demanding piece on its actors, and the audience definitely appreciated the
like
amount of just how much they put in, how committed they were.
I would like to think that wasn't just because we have an A-lister in the cast, although that does draw another sort of type of audience, because Orlando obviously has fans, and a fair play to them. But yeah, I'd like to think it wasn't just because of that.
No, I don't think it was.
I don't know.
I think it's because they were fully invested.
Good.
I think.
I don't know if I'd have stood.
Well, I can't speak for them
personally.
But that's just what we thought.
You know what? I'm harsh.
You are harsh.
Yeah.
We are harsh.
We are. That's just what we think.
Just what we think.
Yeah, what do you think? Have you seen this piece? Tell us your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you.
Let us know, comment below.
We're the Breaker Leggers, and we'll
catch you again soon.
Bye!